What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JD C. Leslie's Josh Dixon. I'm back with another video, man. If you're new to the channel, hit that bell, scroll up, hit always to get notified every single time I upload, man. Also subscribe, man. Listen, today we got asking an ex-gang member questions. You know what I'm saying? Ex-gang member. He looked like he's probably some type of Hispanic gang. I don't know.
Yes. There was a guy that I didn't...
Have you been shot?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a guy that I didn't know he had a gun, but I just went up to him. We had issues, started fighting. Next thing you know, I feel like my legs get taken out from under me. That's part of, living that type of lifestyle. My name is...
You felt your legs get taken from up under you. This nigga hit you with a street sweeper.
Johnny Chang, former gang
Johnny
member from the
Chang?
San Gabriel Valley, east side of Los Angeles.
Was there a hazing process that you had to go through before joining?
Like how you say it's hazing, it's like a fraternity, right? So you do get jumped in, which we call it a put on. You get
Put on? Okay.
beat up for sometimes it's minutes, depending on what they're feeling that day. I was only 12 at the time, so
Oh wow.
yeah, so I got pretty beat up. What they're trying to do is establish that you can take a beating because it's part of like gang culture. At least when I grew up.
When you were active, do you feel like you would have...
So you telling me you get jumped into gangs, and we not condoning any type of gangs, any type of gang banging. We are here to promote peace and positivity. You know what I'm saying? But you telling me you get jumped into the gang just to figure, it's just so they can know if you can take a beating or not.
had a long life?
The gang life, they call it the fast life, right? So basically, I didn't have any aspirations to live past 18. I started
What?
at 12. So for me, the whole living was about 6 years, and I did everything I wanted to do, right? Drank, smoked, did drugs, whatever I wanted to do, because I knew that we were kind of on a limited type of time, and we just didn't
At
think
12?
anything deeper
13?
than today or what was in
Hey, drugs at 12 is crazy.
front of us.
It's nuts.
What is the purpose of a gang?
Most gangs actually come from a struggle. So where I'm from, the gangs were formed because there was a lot of interracial bullying, basically. It started off as an organization to kind of protect each other and help each other. But in the end, it always gets corrupted. And this happens across all races. There's death, there's a lot of loneliness, there's a lot of betrayal, impulsive actions, shooting somebody just cause, robbing somebody and hurting other people. There's that part.
Did it give you like a sense of like family? Is that why you were there in the first place?
Absolutely, bro. My father, he was an alcoholic and he was very abusive, and he beat my mom, he beat me, he beat my brother, and I found the gang as like kind of like a pseudo family, like a family outside of an actual family, because although my dad was there physically, it wasn't like he was there emotionally. And then when I got in the gang, I really just didn't view them as my family anymore. And I know that sounds crazy, but at one point, my homies, my brothers were like really more important to me than my father, than my biological mom.
And then how long did you do in prison, if you don't mind me asking that?
Sure. I went to youth authority at 12. I did 4 years and then got out for like a little bit, 2 months, and went back into prison for like 10 years.
Can you
Oh
explain
my
the
God,
2
this
second
nigga didn't
takeoff
have a
rule?
childhood.
So the 2 second takeoff rule, whether I stab you, whether I punch you, whether I want to jump you, whatever, I'm going to do whatever I can within these 2 seconds if I feel disrespected. And I don't care if I catch more time, because if you don't, at least in my day, everyone would punk you. They would take advantage of you. They would take your food. They would take your shoes. They would take everything from you. You have to have this mindset of, I'm gonna kill you first before you kill me. So in 2 seconds, that's the decision you have to make. And it really turned a lot of children into having like this murderous spirit and just these unstable people, because that's how YA was. It was really gladiator school. You know?
Wow.
That's crazy. man.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Skylight?
I like
Here.
that video, man.
Safe.
To walk away.
One gas motherfucker.
like sooner?
There wasn't really a point where I wanted to walk away, to be honest with you. I really felt like this was the thing that I wanted to aspire to be, was a gang member.
It was like that was your career.
Yeah, 100%. I looked at prison like university, basically. Like,
Hell
if I
no.
get to this prison, oh yeah, that.
Imagine thinking going to Rikers Island as going to Harvard in prison term. No, that's crazy.
I made
bro.
it.
No, that's
I know
crazy.
that sounds twisted to a lot of people who don't understand this lifestyle, but essentially, like, that's all I really had at that point. You know, I seen this as like my hope. The lifestyle was hope. The power, the you know, the respect, the money, everything was just hopeful for me.
Did everybody in the gang assign for a weapon?
Oh, do they all get a gun? Is
Yeah.
that what you-
Yeah, or different or knives, I don't know.
It depends. I'm gonna speak on, you know, Asians in general. I can't speak on anybody else. At least in my area, like, you have to protect yourself some way. So a weapon, I would say, not necessarily a gun, but you definitely had your brass knuckles and your shank. That was like, you know, shoes, socks, pants, shank, brass knuckles. You know, it's like it was part of your wardrobe,
phone and a
basically,
wallet
right?
type
So
shit. Gotta
yeah,
keep it
you
on
do
you.
get assigned those things. But most Asian gangs were usually outnumbered, and we're usually smaller. Yeah, we have to defend ourselves.
Were you ever close to like committing violence, like when you were a gang member?
When I was gang member, yes, I committed a lot of violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was all I did. Honestly, it was very violent.
Shit, that's all I
I
did.
felt like I was a victim all the time. I felt like you guys have fathers who love you and treat you well, and I don't. So right then and there, I'm gonna show you. I was very vengeful. I was very hateful.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have, you know, things that other people had. So yeah, I reacted through anger and anger alone, bro.
Have you lost any like close friends like to death?
Makes sense.
in
Yes.
gang?
I've lost a lot. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
lost a lot.
Crazy.
Not
Rest
just
in peace
in
to
the
the fallen
gang, but
soldiers.
outside of the gang too. I've lost a lot. Being from where I was from, drugs were pretty rampant, and there's people who have, you know, overdosed on certain drugs. There's people who've completely lost their mind. I've lost friends to, you know, while in prison, committing suicide, things like that. So I've lost a lot of different, in a lot of ways, I've lost friends.
Oh man, that sounds really difficult.
What was the craziest thing that you witnessed?
My friend dying in my arms was the most craziest thing, I would say. And that's because I was supposed to die that night. We had planned to kind of do something and rob somebody, basically. And we planned that, you know, I'm supposed to go to the right of the car and he's supposed to go to the left. But when I stepped to the right, he just stepped in front of me. So naturally I went to the left, and then I hear, you know, gunshots ring out, and basically I see my friend there like dying, right? So I've been in shootouts, I've been stabbed, I've been all that, but
I ain't trying to say nothing about that, but think about that, bro. Imagine having a plan to do something and go a specific way, but you go the opposite way, and the same way you're supposed to go, that person gets smacked. Like, that's really,
But,
he ain't lying. That was
to
supposed to be him.
actually like see somebody pass away in front of you is the sound. It's just very, very traumatic.
And how did you manage?
That point came to me when I felt this depression and emptiness inside of my heart that I could not get rid of. So I assumed, oh, it's
got
because
out
I'm
of
in
street life 'cause
prison.
he
Of
felt
course I'm
alone.
empty. Of course I'm depressed. When I get out, I'll feel better. But once I got out, I still felt the same. If anything, I felt more empty because I was a 2-strike felon, meaning no one was gonna hire me for violent crime. So I had to go back to trapping or selling drugs, as they call it, right? And so when I was doing that, I was making $30,000, $40,000 a month. And, you know, I had a nice place, penthouse, went to Vegas every week, did this and that, you know, did as much drugs as I wanted to, everything. But I still felt that emptiness and that void. And then I'd be in a room with, you know, 100 different people from my neighborhood, and I would feel alone. Like, it's weird. Like, you're physically with people, but inside of your heart, it's just like this hole.
You have
you know, it's
nobody
just
to
this void.
really love you, bro.
My turning
I
point
feel that
was
shit.
around 24, 25 years old. And that had to do a lot with finding God. I had that YOLO lifestyle, you know, where it's like, well, I'm a sinner anyway.
My
I
God,
keep messing
baby.
up, so F it. I'm just gonna do
That's
whatever.
how I be. It'd be bad for me. I'm like, man, I already messed up anyways. You might as well add another tally on it.
Exactly.
I'm going somewhere.
Exactly. Dig deeper, right? You know, it's like I recognize that was a deception. I've been out since 2014, received salvation in 2015. I'm now going back to prisons. It's 2023, and I'm, you know, preaching the gospel and sharing my testimony like this.
Man.
And yeah,
You
bro,
gonna
I
clap
feel
for that
happy.
one. Let's clap for that one, man. Way to turn your life around, man.
I don't live that.
Find God, man.
YOLO lifestyle anymore.
If you could tell your younger self one thing before joining the gang, what would it be?
I would tell myself, don't trust myself. Because I joined the gang thinking that I was gonna make money, I was gonna have status, I was going to have just everything, respect, power. Of course, those things come with it, but I didn't see the dark side of things, right? I mean, what does the world teach you? You know, follow your thoughts, trust yourself, believe in yourself.
Facts.
And that's what I did. And when I
Facts.
did do that, I ended up miserable. I ended up depressed. I ended up lonely because I kept living up and down. What I call it is like that roller coaster lifestyle. Happy when you're happy, sad when you're sad, happy, sad, right? It's like an up and down lifestyle. I've learned now not to really think just for myself, because what Johnny wants to do is always a stubborn,
Facts.
you know, very like, 0 to 100, like just crazy impulsive things. I've learned to kind of put that down and think about the people, think about
think
my
rationally,
family,
to
think
be
about
honest.
my
Rationally.
friends, think about my church, think about all the people that it will affect, and that actually stops me from doing the things that I actually want to do.
Did you ever find a way of like forgiving your family, like your mom and dad?
Yeah. Me and my dad actually rekindled our relationship, you know, and that was only through, like I said, through
Finding God.
Christianity. I was taught that, you know, that it wasn't my father who did those things, and I was like, what? Like, you don't know that, you know, you're not my dad, right? You weren't there, but there was a force inside of my dad that was dragging him. I do remember my dad saying, like, hitting my mom and then saying, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to drink, but I just keep drinking. You know, I recognize that, hey, there is something too. That same thing
Demons,
that's
baby.
dragging me was also
Fighting
dragging
demons
my
every
father.
day, bro.
The way they explained
Demons
it was
find a home
like
in
a
you,
builder
man.
built this house and then it comes and gets vandalized. We don't blame the person that built the house, we blame the vandal, right?
Yeah.
So likewise, when I looked at my dad, there was something that hijacked him. I no longer blamed my dad. I started to see this other thing that was working in him, which we believe is an evil spirit.
Yeah.
And when I apologized to my dad, being the victim, apologizing to the aggressor was crazy, but he broke down and he actually said he was sorry.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I heard him say that he loved me, that he was sorry. We hugged it out, and like years of sadness just ended right there. And we're
Oh,
great.
that's
My
tough,
dad comes
boy.
to church with me. We hang out. I get him food. I mean, it's a great thing. You know, we really bond now, and it's amazing, honestly.
I mean, that's tough,
That's
bro.
awesome.
After
That's
you
tough, for
quit
sure.
the gang,
That's real tough.
do you still keep in touch with your brothers?
Yes. I do keep in touch with my brothers. In the beginning, you know, they were like kind of laughing at me, of course. They're like, oh, this guy's a little Christian boy, you know, like what's wrong with him?
As they
This
gonna
guy's
do.
different. He's peaceful. He's not so like turned up and crazy. But as they started to recognize that I was kind of growing, and some of them actually come to church with me. And, you know, they started to see that they also suffer from emptiness. They also suffer from loneliness, depression, void, and all these other things. And we're taught in that gang culture to just mask that and never show that. But
we are as men are taught to just mask that loneliness and that depression because we're told to be strong for our loved ones. You know, we're told to be there for us because everybody else needs us, but when we need people, where are they at?
you know, I kind of am the person who allows people to be vulnerable and be themselves, you know, and it's a much better relationship now than it was actually even when I first joined the game. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I'm really glad
I mean,
to hear
that's
that
lit,
for
bro.
you.
And then on a more lighthearted note, what do you like to do for fun?
Bro, I'm like an old soul, honestly. I like to fish. I know that's crazy.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like fishing,
I
man.
like to
You know what I'm
fish
saying?
and I like to eat fish too. So
Hey,
it's
going
like
fishing. That's it right there. Hey, shout out to bro for finding God and turning his life around, man. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell skull up always to get notified every time I upload, man. If you like the video, like, drop a comment, man. Tell me your favorite part of the video, man. Remember, like he said, find God. With everything you do, keep God first as well. See